What's good, everyone? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media Update. This is my third um, video. Like I said, I was going to do a trilogy to the Caitlin Clark Athlete of the Year by Time Magazine, and this is the third and final piece. And I want to thank each and everyone for checking out the first two um, videos. Part one, the opening. Part two, controversy, and this one is titled The Appreciation. And we're going to look into everybody that's appreciated. Caitlin's going to talk about some things that have inspired her or what she went through, and with her sit down with Maria Taylor. And then on the closing video, I will share a video, a special, well, not a special video, but just a video by Stephen A. Smith. Just talk about several things. Until then, but you know what happens? Let's hit that intro.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, so we back. Now, like I said, I covered the first two segments of this video, and it's appreciation of Clayton Clark winning Athlete of the Year of Time Magazine. Not only that, like I said, this interview and her sit down with Maria Taylor shed a lot of light, a lot of controversy, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of opinions throughout it all. And for me personally, it's been very good because I didn't want to compact everything into one video. I needed to break each section down into its own individual form to show the steps with Caitlin Clark and what is meant to me as a fan of hers and um of any athlete, what's going through. And I think this is very important to highlight each and every one. Now, if you look at the background, it shows her sitting down with Maria Taylor. I think uh, this background cover and for the template that I used was pretty significant, and it shows a lot. It looks, her demeanor looks happy. She shows she's appreciative. So that's something that I want to highlight in this last video. Now, the first clip is going to illustrate her talking about. I do believe talk about her playing 82 games, the stretch of it. She really had no time off and stuff like that. So take a listen.
I've been enjoying a little bit of a break. I played basketball for literally a year straight. I played like 82 games. I didn't miss a game from college to the pros, which is basically an entire NBA season. And I didn't really come out of many games either. So it was long, but I'm very fortunate and grateful. But I feel like I can just continue to improve. And yeah.
And that's one thing that we all miss, because everybody thought they were, hey, she was gonna come in the league, not excuse me, not do well, but she had a rough start into the league. She was trying to learn her teammates, she tried to learn her head coach. Her head coach was trying to make her play a whole different style instead of allowing her to play the style that she needed to. Um, like I said, she played an NBA schedule, 82 games. Luckily the Olympic break was a perfect time because she was able to get a month off to re-energize, work on some things. If you look at her arms in that photo or in that interview, you could tell her arms has gotten a little bit bigger than it was when she first came into the league. You can tell she's a little bit more toned. And that's where you as an athlete, you have to like build your body up to take if you take the beatings that you're going to take. And that's what something like Michael Jordan had to learn, Kobe Bryant had to learn, to take the long wear and tear, the beatings that you're going to be taking. You're going to get some bumps and bruises, you're going to fall on the ground. And and no one knows it better than Michael Jordan himself, how he used to get beat down by the bad boy Pistons, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and stuff like that, the Boston Celtics. So it is it's good to see that her, you can tell she's been working out. You can tell she's toned. You can tell she has a little weight to her more so than she had when she first came into the season. And that's going to transcend her into her second year, because then now they can't say, oh, we could be physical with her, because if she start taking on that physicality and giving that physicality back, they're not going to be able to do that to her. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we all questioned about, Paige, when she comes to the league, because she's a little girl, and she's going to have to put some weight on herself too to deal with that. And when you put on weight, you don't want to lose certain things. But I think for Caitlin, the way she shoots from three so deep, that strength is going to help her more to connect to the basket, because you've seen some of her stuff, when she's off, she off, you know what I'm saying? But when she's on, yeah, it's what it is. So this next clip is going to illustrate about her talking about a lot of other different things with Maria. I think she wants to get into ownership. We already know that she has have a hand into ownership bid for a soccer team, and she jokingly talked about a coffee shop and all of that stuff about, hey, well, but she drinks a lot of coffee. So take a listen.
I'm just so thankful that you are the leader. Like, you are the chosen one in the future of the sport because of the allyship, the truth, and the willingness to stand and say things if you have to. But I also think the nuance that you used in that article, and I hope everyone gets a chance to read it, was incredible.
That's not the one. Hold on.
Hopefully once basketball ends, I can still find things that I'm really passionate about and can do. Hopefully be an owner of a sports team one day, or open a restaurant. I don't know. Something fun. A little less stressful, maybe. Maybe a coffee shop or something. I don't know. I drink too much coffee, so maybe I could do that. But I don't know.
And that's that clip. Now we all know that her and Lexi Hall was out at Swigs, this coffee shop. They was out there and drinking coffee and espressos and all of that stuff. They had got like a bunch of it. And I could see her, being an owner of a lot of different things once her career takes, especially when her career starts winding down. You probably going to see her start being more of ownership, open a lot of things, managing a lot of things, putting people in different places. And a lot of us fail to realize Caitlin Clark does have a marketing degree for Iowa. And the thing about it is, as she gets older in the game, each year she gets older, she's going to learn something new. She's going to learn something that's going to fit her portfolio even more, because you look at the Magic Johnsons, the Michael Jordans out there, how much they have their hand in business outside of it. You look at Tom Brady, who just recently retired, even though he works for Fox right now. I mean, making over $350 million contract, but he's part owner of, he has a stake in with the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, he's doing other things. So he's doing commercials with Hertz. He had been a partner with Hertz for the last few years that I have remembered. So I could see Caitlin Clark saying similar things, being partners with certain things. Heck, I don't think I think she's going to own probably two teams. You see Patrick Mahomes dipping his hand in business now. He wants to bring a WNBA team to Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I could see Caitlin Clark handling a lot of stuff as her career takes off, especially when she start winning championships, and she's going to continue to break records. Her star status is going to be so much greater than it is now, that you gonna have to arguably she's gonna probably be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, women's athlete all time, and that's going to be a feat to accomplish because you could tell that she's so motivated. She's a competitor. I mean, on the female basketball side, you look at it and see the fire and competitiveness in her, and something that you haven't. We had women athletes that's competitors, but just to be that dog of a competitor that like eat, sleep, and drink competition, like Jordan did, Kobe did. That's what made them so great. That's what separate them from everybody else because they walk a beat to their own drum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they could socialize with other players or have smiles and giggles with other players, but they have an individual battle for themselves that they trying to accomplish. Because once she accomplished and conquer whatever it is in the WNBA, the players and everything, and start winning titles, you can't do nothing to her then. You can't say nothing to her. But they all will. Um, this next clip, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, is ooh, I want to say I was just gonna play the clip and then we just discuss it afterwards. How about that?
I think what people love the most is just the emotion that I play with. I
Yeah.
think it's easy to connect with. I think they can feel that I'm real on the court. But also when I step off the court, like I try to be like very authentic and very genuine and make as much time for people as I can. Like I never want to big time anybody or whatever it is because like I said, I was just that young girl that was screaming for an autograph and that takes 10 seconds of somebody's time. So try to do that as much as I can.
Now, that piece right there is very, very important because you know why? Because she does that every game, every away game, even when they have events inside in the Indianapolis area, she does all of that. She talks to people, she signs autograph. Heck, Angel Reese had Barbie night at her her stadium, and guess what Caitlin did? Up that by signing autograph. Everybody wanted a piece of her. She was signing autographs. She was doing all of this stuff because she's genuine. Despite what we may say or not say, she's genuine. She's she's wholesome. She wants to give back. She wants to help people and everything. And young kids look up to her, because of how she carry herself. It's not always about what you say. It's your actions of what you do. And when you take 5 or 10 seconds to sign a little girl's autograph or give away a shoe or something like that, that makes a kid's day. That makes a child's day. So, and that's very, very important for her to say that because we see how she gives back into the community. Hey, early in the season, she was doing a Habitat for Humanity, playing with the young kids. One little kid was trying to shoot over her and she blocked the shot and they was talking trash to each other. Stuff like that. It just makes a kid's day. And these kids today are so precious and so they're looking for something to grab onto. And when you could be genuine and from the heart, it matters. It really does matter a lot. So now I'm about to hit into my next clip and then I'll discuss it afterwards.
Hopefully once basketball ends, I can still find things that I'm really passionate.
All right.
Just really fortunate.
Yeah, Caitlin is like one of the most humble people I know because like when I tell you she's changed the game, we have the Atlanta Dream is the hometown team in Georgia. They usually play in an arena about 6,000 people. When Caitlin Clark came to town, they moved them to where the Atlanta Hawks play, which is like 20,000 people. It sold out because she was playing there. The number of Indiana Fever fans I saw and young girls and the way they were lighting up, I mean, you have represented something so special.
And now, if you don't know, Maria Taylor is from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I live right now in Greenville, South Carolina, and I'm an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Atlanta. And I just to see the viewership records from this year, just to see the attendance records from this year, just to see how teams was moving their games to big arenas because Caitlin Clark had that impact. I call her the modern day Beatles. She's like a rock star. I say it time and time again. When she comes to town, people want her. You look at how she was with the two pro-ams that she was there. You look at the audience that she was speaking in front of with Maria Taylor right here. It just goes to show you how impactful and how significant she is. And I do say once she start spending time overseas and start gaining that international audience, I know a lot of international places like in Africa and certain other parts of the world knows Caitlin Clark, watches Caitlin Clark, but to have her to be out there front and center is going to be a whole different movement in amongst itself. Even her coach, her new coach now, Stephanie White, says a lot that she is the Taylor Swift of the WNBA, and which is true. You can't deny that. You can't undispute that. She has that magnitude of everything. Everywhere she go, lights, camera, action that's on her. Everywhere has stepped to, lights, camera is on her all the time. And that's something that we have to pay attention to. Winning rookie of the year in an um appreciative league, breaking over 70 records, could have broken more on top of that, being named all the WNBA first team, being named to your first All-Star, leading the All-Star voting and votes in the same year. It's unprecedented, you know, and you have to tip your hat. You have to say, hey, you know what? She gets it. We get it. Despite all the negativity and the controversy that goes with it, Caitlin Clark is here to stay. That's the simple fact of it. You have to appreciate it, and just to know that she is appreciated. Look at this. Soon as she won Athlete of the Year, Satu Salvi came out there with hands flat. Kate Martin, You're So Beautiful. Sophie Cunningham, duh. Like, was there any doubt? You know what I'm saying? Then you had Cameron Brink, speechless, because they looking at Caitlin Clark in a whole different light right there. With um her dress on and how she looked, the photos that she did. Um, Sabrina Ionescu said she's an MF model. You know, it's like, and her and Sabrina Ionescu has a really good relationship. Really good relationship. So that is something that that is very, 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 very impressive. You know what I'm saying? Timmy Fambelli came out and say, "Oh, a force to be reckoned with." You know what I'm saying? Somebody said that she needs to, do some modeling, something that she may do, take on and do later on. You know, a lot of people just went out of their way to appreciate Caitlin Clark, give her things and everything. Um, Shanae Umake, she put fire on the Barbie Club. They said rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Sydney Offer say you look so good. Anita Hall said well deserved. You know, Nike came out and said only time can cover her. We already had our issues with Nike, so we already know what that is. Monica Manut put fire. Breek, Works, photos say, oh, guess who takes Caitlin Clark photos say, you can't look this good and be that good at basketball. It's not fair. Tell me about it. Her college teammate for Iowa, Monica, said I need a couple of days to process this. And look at Ariel Powers, who I'm advocating so hard to be an Indiana Fever, because of her defense and her her she's not as good as a 3-point shooter, but she can hit the threes. But defensively, she's what we need. Um, she said congratulations, and she said and put two fire emojis there, and then the second picture, too cute. So these people came out, and then her backcourt mate, Kelsey Mitchell said, "Yeah, C square, roses and the stars in her eyes." So that's some of the appreciation, that they showing Caitlin Clark, because she's even though through all of her accomplishments, she's humble, man. She's humble. She's very humble. So now, before I close out, I have two other things. I have a clip by Stephen A. Smith, and I have this little article piece about what Sue Bird had to say about Caitlin Clark breaking barriers. And this is another part of the appreciation post that I'm presenting to y'all. So Sue Bird was on her podcast, and she was talking about, Caitlin Clark with the, being in Forbes 30 under 30, making $11.1 million for the 2024 cycle. And Bird went on, and the article states that Sue Bird reflects on Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna see if I could pull it up real quick for y'all so y'all can see it. I think I can. So it helps me better because I can read it along while y'all watch as well. There we go. So it says Sue Bird reflects on Caitlin Clark breaking barriers. Bird acknowledged Clark's extraordinary influence, attributing her financial success to a combination of talent and marketability. So Bird went on to say, "To me, it's like for a league to hit it, for a league to be successful, for a league to have longevity, and now to see for a player in a league to be able to garner money off the court the way in this way. Some of it is just because it's Caitlin Clark," Bird said. Now, the four-time WNBA champion emphasizes how Clark's partnerships with major brands such as Nike are creating a ripple effect. So, and she also went on to say that she's a little bit of a catalyst because now that you're seeing brands invested in her, they know that she's going to be seen in the WNBA. And so those brands are now also going to invest in the WNBA. It's going to just break the door open for all of this investment to come in, and that's ultimately how the league will grow. Now, for Sue Bird to acknowledge that, it's some truth to it. But if Caitlin Clark never came to this league, they wouldn't even have half of the stuff they had. From charter flights, TV viewership. Yeah, certain teams garner certain viewership, but just overall viewership across the board for all these different stations, CBS, Ion, NBA TV, ESPN, ABC, whoever, it goes to show that at the end of the day, that Caitlin Clark is the force that makes everything move. Yeah, there are some that deny it because they don't want to acknowledge it. But like like when Roman Reigns comes into the ring and he calls out a certain city and he says, "Acknowledge me," then hey, that's what you have to do to with Caitlin Clark. Because eventually, like I said before, all the old guards is not going to be there anymore. This league is transitioning into a whole different style of basketball that Caitlin Clark had just bring into the league. Fast pace, up tempo, run, putting points up on the board. When the last time in a few years that you've seen the WNBA score 90 to 100 points in a game and still be able to play somewhat defense? Hardly ever. This year you saw a couple of teams did it, but wait till the next wave of class come. I just watched Indiana. I just watched UConn and Notre Dame, and I'm not a fan of neither one of them teams, but I do like Hannah, the spark plug over there in Notre Dame because Notre Dame plays that same kind of place. The current Iowa team, plays a different style, but they could run a little bit. There's certain teams that are made to run, and you're gonna see that transition into the W. And the more that these young talent keep coming into the W, these older players ain't gonna be there no more. In the next 5 years, probably none of the older players are gonna be there. You think about it. Angel Wilson is like 28, 29 right now. 5 years, she's gonna be 34. She's gonna be getting ready to be phased out the league. In 5 years, Caitlin Clark would be 27 years old in her prime. In her prime, people. 34 versus 27 in your prime. Half of them older people in the league is going to be gone. So all of this nonsense that we watching now is going to eventually be phased out because the old guard, they want to hold on so much. But there's a new guard. There's a new power. There's a new force to be reckoned with, which is Caitlin Clark. She's coming to the league. She's in the league, and she's taking the world by storm. So just think about that when we watching this nonsense that's going on. Think about that. This is going to be phased out eventually, and all the young talent is going to come into the league. They're going to have their own voice of their own. Some of these agendas, some of these stuff that goes on right now won't be existing anymore. I preach patience, people. I preach patience. Dang, I sound like Stephen A. Smith just now. Ugh, that's a scary little thought right there. But speaking of Stephen A. Smith, I have the last clip from this appreciated post. Let's roll it.
I want to give props to the one and only Caitlin Clark, who earlier today was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. Clark had an historic year in both college and the WNBA, where she made an indelible impact across the sports landscape. She led the University of Iowa to a 34-5 record in the championship game of the women's NCAA tournament before losing to Dawn Staley in South Carolina, by the way, while breaking the all-time Division I career scoring record for men and women. And just a few months later, Clark was drafted into the WNBA, where she set a rookie record for most three-pointers made in a season, while also establishing WNBA marks for assists in a single game and in a season. And by the way, that's just about her impact on the court. Off the court, her presence led to higher ratings, improved travel for players, and increased salaries for women across the league. And that's where I was going to go. That's why she deserves the Athlete of the Year. You know what? She's white. And because of that, call it whatever you want. I'm not going to go as far as to say reverse racism, because I don't think people felt that way. But clearly, when you consider some of the hard times other people gave her, they were resentful of the fact that this white girl came on the scene where there was a bunch of sisters that preceded her, spanning decades, that were big time, that deserved a lot of credit. I mean, people looked at the Cheryl Swoops of the world. They looked at the Cynthia Coopers of the world, the Lisa Leslies of the world, the Maya Moores of the world, and others. And they said, yo, there was a bunch of people that came before her that did big things for the WNBA. I respect it. It is right. I appreciate it. But whiteness does have its privileges, especially when you got a game. And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, They couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who Caitlin Clark is. That's why, white, black, or otherwise, I call her a sister, because she looked out for the sisters and everybody else in between. Yes, she did. And when you had some of the trolls, some of the sorry-ass people that were fans of hers, that were engaging in racist or prejudicial tendencies, she spoke out against that. So she spoke out against that. She got people paid. She got better travel arrangements. She increased the ratings and the revenue, which obviously the WNBA benefited exponentially, because now you got a $200 million deal. All of these things being considered, you damn right, it is appropriate that she got Athlete of the Year. She is special, and she's coming. And oh, by the way, still stupid, a Team USA to not have on a team. You want to grow women's basketball globally? How do you have an Olympics competition this year without Caitlin Clark on it? I called you fools then. And one of these days, you're going to fess up and admit we were damn fools for not having Caitlin Clark on the 2024 Team USA Olympic team. She'll be there in 2028. Barring injury, she will be there. But she should have been there already. She really should have. It might have helped you even more. But your loss, it was stupid. Somebody needed to tell you that. So I'm going to say it again. It was stupid. Now let me get to the...
All right, so with that being said, everything that I just went over, clips, footage, quotes, whatever the case may be, make no mistake about it. Caitlin Clark rightfully, undisputedly, without a shadow of doubt, deserve Times Magazine's Athlete of the Year. And I will be looking for my Time Magazine today. And but nevertheless, I end this video with just one simple word: patience. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next video, you know what it is. I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.